And welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live. Coming at you top of the ninth inning. Bases juiced. Cole Winn on the mound. What could go wrong? We've got a 9-3 ball game. Not in a good way. Orioles leading this one by 6. Rangers trying to keep it right where it is. And maybe a ninth inning miracle in play. I'm not holding my breath, but we're going to finish this one out. We have a number of different things to talk about today. Kumar Rocker, Jordan Montgomery, Ranger debut, Brandon Nimmo, big 3-run homer to cut it to 2, and it's kind of been all downhill from there. We are going to run through the gamut, including your guys' comments and questions, but first here, Right on Rangers, we cover everything Texas sports. But we put a huge emphasis on the Rangers during the MLB season. And we thank you for choosing Right on Rangers for all of your Texas Rangers content. Again, drop a comment, drop a question. We will be here to finish this one out. We'll be here post-game. Going about an hour or so today. Let's get to it. 3-1 count. Pitch number 5 incoming in the AB to Cowser, who has homered earlier today. Cole Winn, my goodness. Just a non-competitive pitch there from Winn, who you got to think Cole is probably pitching for something right now. Don't know if he has unlimited leash or not, but with the excess of arms right now, as guys come back from injury especially, you do wonder if Cole Winn might be on some thin ice. We discussed Winn yesterday as a potential DFA when Jack Leiter comes back. What are you going to do? Who are you going to send down? Jacob Junis is on his way back as well. I am very curious, what they end up doing here. Cole Winn, he is obviously a 2018 first-round pick, a Rangers product. Can't imagine they feel great about letting that go, but it is an unfortunate situation with the way he has played down the stretch here in 2026. 10-3 as Cole Winn walks in a run. And we have Narvaez up to bat. He is 1 for 3 on the day. Kumar Rocker. A lot of you guys want to talk about Rock. I think Rock is very clearly going to be getting another turn in the rotation. I don't think anybody should be thinking anything otherwise. You've got covering first base issues. Just a number of different errors here. Soldier, what's good? Rocker shouldn't pitch again until he learns how to cover first base. Yep. I have no clue how that continues to be an issue for Kumar. It's happened multiple times this year. It's happened multiple times per season in his Rangers tenure. Little league stuff. I mean, that's stuff that you teach to your little league kids. You work on it in JV ball, freshman ball, high school ball. I mean, these are things that he has to have figured out by now. And you know what? Who knows how the game changes? It's really hard to play that game as Cole Winn strikes out Narvaez for out number 2, I believe, in this inning, or out number 1. Phew. Out number 1? Yikes. All right, 1 down in the 9th. It's hard for me to give too many excuses for Rock. Who knows how the game changes if he does cover that. I know a couple people mused maybe even had he covered, would have been a close play. True, but nevertheless, it feels a lot worse when you don't know if he actually would have done the right thing. Would you have gotten the out? I think he probably does get the out if he's there covering for Berger, who made a nice play going to his left. With Kumar, the big issue, I think, is just the fact that over the last 15 innings that he's pitched, he's allowed 26 base runners. I mean, so basically you're almost allowing 2 base runners an inning on average. This is over Kumar's last 3 outings. You've given up 10 earned runs, 11 technically speaking, because the runner that Montgomery inherited came around to score on the home run. So 15 innings, 11 earned runs in his last 3 starts. It's not been great. I think clearly he's going to get another go. Leiter is not going to be ready, but we were talking about kind of almost a no-brainer. Hey, if you can get Jack Leiter healthy Cody Bradford maybe goes to the pen. Kumar Rocker, if he does not come out and rebound in a big way, most likely against the A's on Friday night, right? You think his turn probably is going to be Friday night in Sacramento. If he doesn't come back out and give the Rangers something really nice, something real solid, I am really curious if he becomes the odd man out. I know we're just going knee-jerk reaction here, but if Cody Bradford's pitching well, I'm still a little bit jury out on CB, by the way. I think Cody had a great first start. Keep it in perspective, he was throwing against one of the worst teams in baseball at home, where he's pitched historically very, very well. I am curious to see how Cody pitches against the Angels. I don't even think you're going to have a great litmus test for Cody playing the Angels, man. Another one of the worst teams in baseball. And I'm not saying this to knock down Cody Bradford a few pegs. I have no vendetta against him. But at this point, I think it's fair to say you have Cody Bradford, again, against the Giants, one of the worst teams in the NL. Angels are one of the worst teams in the AL. I think you're clearly just rooting for outs and you're rooting for Cody to be successful. But I do think the first time he has to face one of the above average teams in the AL, that's when you really lock in and you see what he's got. That's really when you lock in and you see what Cody has. We have, by the way, a fly out here in Encarnacion Strand. Going to pop it up to Justin Foscue, and that is going to end the inning. Orioles are only able to score one run from that bases-loaded jam, and we have a 7-run deficit heading to the bottom half. I do think Rocker, if he pitches well against the A's on Friday night, probably is able to stick around. I don't think that they really want to mess a whole lot with the development of Rocker or Leiter. Cody Bradford, look, as good as he was in that first start, and in 2024, he had a pretty good year before the injury. I don't think that they're choosing Cody Bradford over one of their first-round picks. That's just my guess. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's going to be really, really tough for the Rangers to move off of Rocker, to move off of Jack Leiter, especially if those guys are throwing well. I think they are going to give those two every opportunity to succeed before demotion. Speaking of, let's talk about some of the moves today. And I know you guys are blowing up the comment section. I appreciate you. Know that we'll get to everything. Just have a couple more things to get through. You have Alejandro Osuna getting demoted. You guys know Osuna, one of my favorite players. I can't say that I'm, crashing out or that I have, some kind of infuriating, visceral response. But I will say this. There are clearly haves and have-nots on this team. I've talked about this a number of different times. There are players on this team that are given the benefit of failure. They're given the benefit of a 4-week, 5-week stretch of consistent playing time. And you know what? When they don't succeed, there's excuses that get thrown their way. I just feel like Osuna wasn't necessarily in any kind of rut, but he wasn't getting consistent playing time. I do think you could have gotten creative, a lot more creative with Osuna and getting him into the lineup. Jake Berger, regardless of the output today, Jake Berger is a platoon player at this point in my mind. And I hope that somebody bookmarks this, and I hope Berger starts going off. But right now, we did the numbers. Jake Berger hits lefties well. I think he had a base hit against a left-handed thrower today, right? Against righties, Jake Berger is below league average. I think it would have been very fair to have Jock Peterson play some more first base. Maybe you have Brandon Nimmo DH against righties. Nimmo, not a terrible right fielder, but not the best. You throw Osuna out there in the outfield, or maybe you have Osuna DH. I think you could have gotten a lot more creative, but in my humble opinion, Berger is one of the haves. Osuna is one of the have-nots. Berger is a guy that everybody loves and everybody respects, and he is a great guy. Does a lot of good stuff for the community. I think he is someone that people value in the clubhouse. And so they're going to let Jake Burger fail a lot more than they're going to let an Alejandro Osuna fail. And so for me, I'm not surprised by the Osuna move. The Jonah Bride move, to me, signals that Josh Young is further away than what we think. And I've said pretty consistently, I don't think Josh Young comes back till September. And even then, we'll see what happens. But I don't think he's back until September. They're going to have to do a rehab assignment for him. Bringing up Bride today makes me feel like a rehab assignment isn't necessarily imminent. And so for me, I am just kind of at a place where Jonah Bride, we'll see what he does, but I'm not necessarily thinking that this Jonah Bride move is going to be anything that sticks. I think he'll probably be the first one to be sent back down or DFA'd when guys come back from injury. We'll see how it goes with Jonah today. 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts, hitting at the bottom of the order. I hope Alejandro lands on his feet. I hope he crushes it in AAA and finds his way back up when rosters expand. I would think it's a no-brainer to get him back up to the major league level. Osuna really has nothing to prove down in AAA. He has nothing to prove. The biggest knock on Osuna is defense, and the biggest knock on him is the lack of pop, right? And I just think down at the minor league level, it's hard to see the results for that and then automatically apply it at the major league level, man. When you're playing defense in AAA, it's different than playing defense at the major league level. I do think if you gave Alejandro Osuna everyday starts, he's going to improve defensively. That's his biggest knock. Evan Carter has had the benefit of everyday starts, and you see what kind of defender that he's become. I don't know if he came into the league as good as he is right now. I don't think he was bad at all when he came into the league. Don't get me wrong. But I think Evan Carter has gotten better and better defensively the more he's played. And by the way, Lopez is going to gap one here. And looks like we are going to get on the board. Cam Cauley scores easily, 10-4. We've got a comeback coming. We got a comeback coming, baby. Here we go. As I was saying, I don't think Osuna has a whole lot to prove down at AAA. I think he'll be back in September, late August, when rosters expand. And I'd like to see the Rangers get a little bit more creative, getting guys like him into the lineup. Regardless of the lack of pop, when Osuna was in the lineup, felt like more often than not the lineup was scoring runs. Would have to go back and look, but it always felt like he provided a spark that has been lacking a little bit over the last 2 weeks. We keep rolling. Appreciate all you guys. Cam Cauley, 2-hit day, and against righties. How about we play him over Lopez? Kate, I'm kind of with you on that. Kind of with you, honestly, on that one. Oof. I mean, G-Man, to be fair, talking out of your butt. G-Man, to be fair, I mean, you do know Alejandro Osuna won awards for defense in the minor leagues, right? I mean, dude, I don't know if that's really what we want to go to as like some kind of mic drop. That seems a little bit weird. Alejandro Osuna won defensive awards down at the AAA level. So, G-Man, I feel like you're coming at me a little unnecessarily with that one, buddy, but it's all right. I still love you. We have a couple of different comments on TikTok I want to get to. Demoting Osuna is why they're losing. Lulu, this is my kind of vibe right here. Look, I don't love the Osuna demotion at all. Trust me, I don't love the Osuna demotion at all. I get it. They really didn't have a spot for him, and I've resigned myself to the fact that they're going to play Evan Carter. Even if he went 0 for 50, I don't think Evan Carter is going to get a demotion. I posted that earlier today, too. I don't even think an 0 for 50 slump is going to cause Evan Carter to lose playing time. I think the club's made it very clear they're going to continue to give him runway. And so with that in mind, you know, if you're not going to platoon Jake Burger and maybe get Osuna some reps that way, he's just not going to have a path to regular ABs. I think when the rosters expand, we'll see him back again. Johnny, I'm with you. I do think that Nicky, as good as that last hit was from him, I do think Cam Cauley getting a little bit more playing time is preferable. I would absolutely be a fan of seeing him play a little bit more. Nate, I'm confused with the Leiter situation put on the 60-day. Yeah, so Nate, basically the 60-day IL for Leiter, if you're confused about that, the best, simplest way I can put it is like it's all retroactive, right? So they had him on the 15-day. You can leave him on the 15-day, but the 60-day is what opens up the 40-man. And Leiter has been out for a long time, right? The last time we saw Jack Leiter, I'd have to look up the date, but it's going to line up well. By the way, Carter going to pop out here to end the game. Rangers lose this one 10-5. So, Nate, it doesn't prolong anything. It's really just a formality to open up a 40-man spot. And we have Jack Leiter having spent enough time on the IL. It'll line up to activate him. Let's see, the last time that he pitched, just want to get this right before I say anything more, but I believe the last time was in June, wasn't it? Last outing was June 18th, right? So that would put him in about 9 days being able to get off the 60-day. I mean, give or take, right? So you figure just let's call it a week and a half. He has a week and a half, and then he'll have been out 60 days. So it makes sense to do the move. It's what allowed Jonah Bride to come up and play, moving him to the 40-man. So there you go. Jay, and I don't act like Osuna is Josh Hamilton in his prime. I mean, I feel like you're latching a little bit onto in-game reactions. I've never said Osuna is Josh Hamilton in his prime. Come on, man. Like, do I get hyped up? Do I like the player? Yes, absolutely. But, you know, I've always talked about this. Like, if you and I watched a game together and somebody does something well, I mean, am I going to sit around and just kind of like try and be as measured and just as laid back as possible? Or am I going to get hyped up when something special happens over the course of 9 innings? Like so many people, I think when you post something, it's always an expectation. It has to be measured. It has to have like this wide lens perspective. No, sometimes we just react in the moment, and I love the player. And I think that Osuna is a useful player for sure, but let's not pretend like I've ever equated him to Josh Hamilton in his prime. That's just totally false and inaccurate. I do think that Osuna's value is not so much less than some of the current players on the roster. I do think it's pretty obvious that there are some players on the roster that get more opportunity to fail than Alejandro Osuna does. But no, I have never been of the mindset that Osuna is a prime Josh Hamilton. 100%. Spend a lot of time dogging Evan Carter and talking about Osuna. Now it's Osuna Burger. Well, isn't it fair to dog Evan Carter? I mean, if you want to say that I've dogged Evan Carter, does he deserve to be dogged? He's hitting 195. This is the argument that I always have, and I'm going to be careful. I don't want to get on an Evan Carter kick. It's way too easy for me to do. You would never know Evan Carter is hitting 195 based on how a lot of Rangers fans treat Evan Carter. Evan Carter's hitting 195. And you would think he's hitting like 275 with like 40 stolen bases. But because he plays good defense, everybody's fine with what he's doing right now. Look, I don't agree with that. And I'm not going to argue back and forth with everybody. But I'm never going to get on the page that Evan Carter can hit 100. But because he plays defense, he needs to be the everyday center fielder. Like that, I'm never going to agree with that, and we can agree to disagree. If that's what you think is best, by all means, we can have a difference of opinion. Evan Carter deserves to be criticized this year. He's hitting 195. I don't really understand why that's a hot take, nor do I get why people get sensitive about it. You've dogged him so much. People pretend like he's hitting 300 and I'm just being nitpicky. Like, I don't get it, JN. Bud, I love you, but I don't get it. It's a little too much for me. the same energy in which people get on me for thinking Osuna, like, I actually love your comment. Osuna gets treated by me like a prime Josh Hamilton. Apply that to Evan Carter. What Evan Carter gets treated by a lot of Rangers fans like a prime Josh Hamilton. It is ridiculous. It's such a double standard. The people that come after me for Osuna, it's like they don't realize that they're gassing up a 195 hitter. God love him. I'm appreciative of what Evan Carter did in 2023. Evan Carter is hitting below 200 and has hit below 200 for a majority of this season. I'm not saying that Evan Carter is terrible and he needs to be cut, but I would like for people to pull their head out of the clouds or the sand, whichever one you prefer. Evan Carter is not a good hitter, and no amount of good defense is going to convince me that he needs to be playing every single day. Look at the numbers for right now. It was like 1 for 21 coming into the game. Did he get a hit today? 0 for 1, so he's now 1 for his last 22. Thank you. Nobody, look, the Hamilton comparison was not my comparison. I know it was hyperbole, but let's be real. I've never compared Osuna to Josh Hamilton. Never. I'd rather see Osuna in left, Wyatt in center over EC and Wyatt in left. I'd rather see Wyatt in center field too, but again, it appears that the club feels like too much of that is going to cause Wyatt Langford to combust spontaneously. I'd love to see Wyatt Langford in center field. I do think playing him in center field is not that much of a downgrade from Evan Carter. In fact, you guys have heard me say I think there's an argument that they're pretty much on the same playing field. If not, Wyatt Langford slightly better reacting to fly balls out there in the outfield. Wyatt Langford had a hit today. He's in a little bit of a slump on his own, but I would like to see more of Wyatt in center and Evan as more of a nice piece and more of a depth piece. I don't think Evan Carter is an everyday starter. I think he's in a good role right now being a platoon player. But should the offensive struggles continue, I think Evan Carter can be useful coming into games late, pinch running. I don't necessarily feel like what he's done this year has locked him into any kind of everyday role for next year. And I hope that Evan Carter figures it out. I think that's the other thing that people get confused a lot. Like, even in the fun of the Osuna-Carter debate, I like cheering for Evan. I like cheering for him. But at the end of the day, I've got to give some actual analysis here. I'm not going to be able to prop up a 195 hitter regardless of the defense and pretend like that's an everyday player that never deserves to be challenged with any kind of competition. Let's keep on rolling here. We got a number of different comments that I want to get to for sure. A lot of people are ready to get Cole Winn off the team. Look, this might be a little harsh to comment as Cole Winn would have trouble against high school teams right now. I don't know about that, my guy, but I appreciate the hyperbole either way. Look, Cole Winn's not pitching well right now. Cole Winn is not pitching well. 6.02 ERA. Like 6.02 ERA, it speaks for itself. He's not pitching well. I do think that he is on thin ice. I don't imagine Cole Winn is going to last a whole lot longer if he continues to do stuff like this. I don't think the team is going to keep him in perpetuity. Honestly, I could see him clearing waivers right now. Do you guys think there's a lot of people that are really standing in line for Cole Winn? I know that sounds so disrespectful to the guy, but I just can't imagine there's a lot of people that are waiting in line for Cole Winn. I think he might get DFA'd and then end up back at Round Rock. Don't you guys? I think that is a real possibility. Maybe there's somebody that's willing to take a flyer. Hey, first round pedigree back in 2018. It's been a long time since 2018 though, man. I'm almost willing to bet money they could DFA him and he'll probably clear waivers. I know he doesn't have any options left, but feels like you could probably get him to clear waivers and put him back at Round Rock. Rocker killed us. Schumacher conceded the game early by using Montgomery and then Winn. I thought Shue did a good job saving the pen. Starting tomorrow, the Rangers have a fresh bullpen. I didn't mind the Monty move. Were there a lot of people that didn't like the Montgomery move? I actually thought it was a good move to get Rocker out of the game. My only nitpick would be I wish they would have just pulled Rocker immediately. I know they were trying to do the righty-righty thing right away in the fourth inning. They were trying to get, righty-righty with Rocker and whoever was up to bat for the Orioles. But I just wish they would have given Montgomery a clean inning. I would have really liked to have had Monty come in, just nobody on the base paths, even though it was one runner on and it was just on first base. That would have been my preference. It's good to see Montgomery out there. I know that he had a rough game, giving up some homers, 3 innings, 6 earned runs. 4 innings, 3 earned runs. I was looking at the Rocker stat line. Not good, but, for a first start back in the major leagues, for a first outing back in the major leagues, it could have been worse. Let me put it to you that way. And look, he did better than Rocker today. That much is true as well. Jordan Montgomery pitch count. I don't know if anybody else found this amusing, but Jordan Montgomery today threw 79 pitches. 9 less pitches than Jacob deGrom yesterday. So, look, I know there's probably going to be people maybe clapping back at me for this take, but I'm like, okay, so a guy that hasn't pitched since 2024 will gas out to 80 pitches, but Jacob deGrom can't throw more than 88 in a game. Dude hasn't pitched for 2 years, and we're having him throw 80 pitches, but Jacob deGrom, who's been pitching all season, can only go 88. This to me is another, it's just the haves and the have-nots, man. They're going to run Monty into the ground, I guess. First start after being away from the game for almost 2 years. And, Jacob deGrom, man, we got to keep that count right in the 80s, baby. I don't really get what the strategy is sometimes. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It just kind of seems like different players have, different, I don't want to say privileges, but they just have different standards for different players. Baby certain players over others. I think it's very obvious. Again, Montgomery throwing 9 less pitches than deGrom after not having played for 2 years in Major League Baseball. I think it's kind of ridiculous. But, hey, you know what? That's why they pay those guys the big bucks. Am I right? Montgomery allowed 3 runs, Rocker 6. I'll take Montgomery over Rocker. Rocker to AAA or the bullpen. Jose, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I've got to say, I think that Montgomery, if Rocker continues to struggle, could easily step into that role. The only thing is, Rocker, you probably would want to send down to AAA, right? You wouldn't necessarily want to move him to the bullpen. Look, let's be honest. You watched how much Rocker missed location today. I'm not wanting to put that in the bullpen. Anybody that's saying, and Jose, I'm not getting on you for this take at all, man. The bullpen is definitely an option, but just think about it. Look at how many times Rocker missed today. I don't know if you noticed how many times the glove would be in one place and Rocker would clear miss on the other side. If you had Diaz low and away set up, Rocker was throwing high and tight. I don't want Rocker anywhere near the bullpen, man. You've got to have control if you're going to pitch in the pen. You have to have control. And Rocker does not have consistent control. I don't want Rocker anywhere near the bullpen. Nowhere near the bullpen. I think Monty is most likely at this point in his career that the upside is definitely not higher with Jordan Montgomery, Darnell, than Rocker. But Darnell, I will say this. I feel like Rocker is way more susceptible to a meltdown compared to some of the other pitchers on staff. Think about Cal Q. I think Rocker is way more susceptible to a meltdown than Cal Q is. There's just a game where Rocker just totally does what you just saw today. And with Cal Q and maybe with some of the other guys, you feel like, I might not be getting 7 innings of shutout baseball, but I'll at least be getting a game where the team has a chance. And I feel like that has happened more often than not. It's hard to comment on Montgomery. It was one game, but I will say this. I think you're understanding why a lot of us lobbied for there to be more moves at the deadline with the bullpen. I don't think Montgomery and Bradford, and I'm assuming that Bradford at one point is going to go to the pen, whether it's in October, if the Rangers are blessed to get there, or later in the season when everybody's healthy. I don't think that Bradford and Montgomery in tandem are the, filthy bullpen pieces that you envision when a trade deadline deal is made. I think I was going back and forth with a couple of people about this on X, and somebody was kind of essentially saying, bro, one game. Like, why are we getting, all up in our feelings about one game with Jordan Montgomery? I mean, my rebuttal would be, are we thinking that in 3 games, when Monty just gets a few more innings under his belt, he's going to become prime Aroldis Chapman? Is that the idea here? I think everybody can see what Montgomery has and what the arsenal is. And I think that Montgomery can probably still get outs in this league pretty consistently. I don't think he is ever going to be back at 2023 mode, if I had to guess. But the Rangers needed to get a high-octane right-handed thrower. They've got Jacob Latz, a high-octane lefty. I mean, look, he doesn't pump triple digits, but Latzy can get it up to 96, 97 at times. I think it would have been very wise to get someone beyond Chase Silseth, who's had a decent year this year, but isn't necessarily a guy that's had to pitch with a whole lot of pressure this season, throwing baseballs for the Anaheim Angels. I think you're noticing why people, myself included, really push for, can we go get that high leverage, high octane right-handed arm for the bullpen? Who do I think is trending to get moved when Junis and Leiter are back? Yeah, I think that Alstrom is still probably prime candidate number 1. Jonah Bride, I think he would probably be number 1 to get DFA'd when you're talking about moving somebody off the 60-day. Did he really say this? Was that Caden? Seriously, was that really the quote? Somebody, a comment, Caden says, CY said that Montgomery and Bradford are better than any deadline deal they could have made. That was the quote. CY didn't think you could get anyone better. I mean, look, maybe what he's saying is that there was probably too high of a price on some of the other relievers at the deadline. Come on. Luke Weaver is not a clear upgrade over Jordan Montgomery. I love Monty. Luke Weaver is not a clear upgrade over Cody Bradford, and I love Cody. I don't get that at all. I'm only going to assume that what he meant is like the price was too high for anybody else. We didn't want to pay Luke Weaver price, so all things considered, I guess, and maybe I'm even throwing too much of a bone there. That is wild. Yikes. I don't know who's getting the boot when Young gets back, but I don't think we're going to have to make that decision for a few weeks. I really don't. Darnell, since CY didn't make any moves, take that money, buy Monty a rocking chair. Whew. It's one start, but I'll say this. Just like I mentioned for Cody Bradford, Cody, first start, throwing against one of the worst teams in baseball. The Orioles had not exactly been crushing it. Over their last 7 games, man. Baltimore came into today's game having scored 11 runs in their previous 7 games. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this was a pretty bad offensive opponent. And so to see Rocker and even Montgomery, to an extent, we'll give Montgomery more of a break, first outing in multiple years in the major leagues. It's a little disheartening. You hope that they can both bounce back, and I think that's what you got to do. Flush this one and move on. The velocity Royal Red, I will say, I was thinking that he was going to be more in Cody Bradford territory, like high 80s, but Montgomery was touching 92 a little bit today. I don't know what the fastest fastball was. I'd have to go back and see if we can get a feel. what he was pumping early on in the game. Looks like to Henderson, so this is right out the gate, he hit 91.1. Pete Alonso, which was the home run. By the way, that home run that Pete Alonso hit was like, I feel like close to a foot outside, and Pete still was able to pull it to left center field at 404 feet. I feel like the Pete Alonso home run was a bit of a tip of the cap. The second home run that Monty gave up, that one was a meatball. I mean, you go back and you look at the Alonso pitch by pitch. That pitch that Alonso homered on is literally like a foot outside. I mean, I don't know if I can really get on Montgomery crazy for that one. But yeah, not good. 91.2 in that at bat. Jackson Holliday, 91.4. We're just looking at Montgomery's velocities right now. I'm not going to do too many more here. 91.6 in the O'Neill at bat. So look, 91, if you want to round up generously to 92, go for it. I think that Montgomery, you would imagine, is going to be, once he fully gets back, maybe sitting between 92 and 93. Sometimes the best deals are the ones you say no to, and I think we did a good job of that and stayed disciplined as well. Yeah, that's a lot of front office speak, man. A lot of front office speak. I mean, that's the kind of stuff where it's like, I get so tired of those nothing burgers that they feed us, man. CY gets on the radio, just feeds the masses nothing but nothing burgers. That's a huge nothing to me. Gore Detmer's matchup tomorrow night will be fun. We're going to go through that one here in about 10 minutes. We'll preview the Angels series. A lot of late night baseball. I don't know what y'all's bedtimes are, but I will be hanging out late night doing the lives. It'll be probably 10:30, 10:45 that some of these lives are going to start up. So if you're hanging out, hopefully you can join. If not, maybe you catch us on the replay. I think I'm going to start getting a little bit disciplined and putting some of these up onto Spotify and Apple Podcast. So if you are a podcast listener and you're not able to do a live with us while the game's going or post game, you'll be able to do that. I did it like a couple of years ago. I kind of got lazy and stopped doing it. But I think I'm going to get back into it. So if you are a podcast listener, I'm going to start rolling these back to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Hopefully it'll go well. Hopefully it won't be too big of a task for me, but that's the plan at least. Hard not to expect the worst in a Rocker home start. Brian, we've actually been talking about Rocker has been better at home than he's been on the road this year. He definitely had the reputation of being worse on the road than at home, so I felt that way a lot this year, but the splits have really flipped a bit, and we know that Rocker actually has a better home ERA than a road ERA. Now, I don't know how that changed for today, but coming into today, that was definitely true. Apparently, Danny Jansen is close. Oof. The way I feel about that news is the way I feel about the Robert Garcia news that Robert Garcia is throwing again. But you know what? Danny Jansen for Austin wins. Like, you are losing a little bit of defense. Danny is not nearly as quick to second base as Austin Wins is, but Austin had a lot of trouble throwing the baseball in the Tampa series. Or was that the series after that? One of the two. No, it was the 5 error game. That was the Austin Wins, like 2 bad throws. It was the 5 error game. So the Giants game, right? I think Danny Jansen most likely just ends up replacing Austin Wins, and it is what it is. Rocker just didn't have it today. Got to know when your guys don't have it and pull them before the hole is dug too deep. Skip didn't do a terrible job of that today. Again, my only nitpick would be, why don't you go ahead and pull him after the Nimmo homer? It was very obvious he didn't have it, and I think Skip, just trying to get a little greedy, sent him back out there for the 4th. I would have probably just let Jordan come in clean and really work out of the windup. And, you know, some guys that matters, some it doesn't. But I would have let Monty have a little bit more of a soft landing there instead of coming in with runners on base. I know it's just one runner on first, but that would be what I would have done in that spot. Just felt like Rocker was destined to give those runs back after the Nimmo homer, and he was trying to with the 5-pitch walk immediately after a big-time swing by Nims to bring the Rangers back within 2 runs. And did you guys hear with Rocker, did you hear Dave Raymond kind of muse about Rocker's health? I don't know if you guys caught that or not. I think it was at the end of the top of the 3rd inning. I'd have to go back and look, but man, I didn't know where that was coming from. I know that Dave is around the team and maybe it's possible like he's heard something, but I was thinking to myself, man, where is that coming from that Dave Raymond would just muse? I wonder if, his health has anything to do with this. He's thrown over 110 innings, and I just thought that was a little bit interesting. I think that typically you're going to see some of the RSN guys carry some water here and there for different players and for the team. But, man, is it just possible that Rocker just hasn't been that great over his last few starts? I don't think you have to do any kind of forensic investigation here. I think he's just not been very good over his last 3 starts. I think there's not a whole lot more to it. But you know what? Maybe we will get the Phantom IL stint for Rocker. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happened. Would not be surprised at all. Moses says, I just want to see O'Hoppe. How much worse can the catcher spot really get? Well, if Danny Jansen's coming back, that complicates the O'Hoppe situation. I kind of figured O'Hoppe would just slide into the Austin Wynn spot once he has stayed down in AAA long enough to get that extra year of control. I really thought it's possible that's going to be the seamless, smooth transition with Danny coming back. I don't know, man. Maybe they'll dump Elias Diaz. I know he has cooled off a little bit for sure. I feel like we were so deprived at the catcher position. Elias Diaz just felt like the best breath of fresh air. But Diaz has had, some ups and downs. The challenges. Today, Diaz was 0 for 4. Average is now down to 235. You wonder, maybe it's going to be Danny Jansen and O'Hoppe. Or maybe they just keep O'Hoppe in AAA until next year, and they decide to roll with O'Hoppe next year. Next year, you would imagine it's going to be O'Hoppe and Danny Jansen. Higgy is a free agent. O'Hoppe is going to be under team control until 2030. So I feel like O'Hoppe-Jansen tandem is probably going to be what the Rangers roll with next year. Higgy, yeah, he was not batting too much. I feel like Higgy 10-day IL, it's been longer than that, right? And I haven't gotten a lot of updates on Higgy at all, by the way. We'll see. Logan O'Hoppe walks in the top of the 7th. Martinez scores. Round Rock must be doing something. Hey, O'Hoppe, another base hit last night. Got hit by a pitch on base a couple of different times. Today at AAA, let's see what O'Hoppe did today at AAA. Today, he's 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk. So many people, it was wild how much pushback I got. I posted a clip of O'Hoppe gapping one opposite field. And, of course, in my fashion, I'm like, O'Hoppe raking in AAA. Surely we couldn't use this at the major league level. And so many people, oh, man, he's got a 230 average in the minor leagues this year, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I want to say at this point, he is 7 for his last, 21. He's 7 for 21 and has an RBI in, I think, 4 out of 4 games. I mean, it's pretty wild. He's actually playing pretty well. I don't think that they're going to end up bringing him up until after August 22nd, which would give the club an additional year of control. But Logan O'Hoppe has been playing well over the last 4 or 5 games. I'm not saying call him up right now. I think the Rangers have a plan to keep him for one more year. beyond what the contract is at currently right now with his service time. We'll see. But when he is past that, when August 23rd, 24th, whatever the exact date hits, I do think that could potentially be an opportunity where maybe they do bring him up. Makes sense, though, when rosters expand. Maybe that's the time. Just naturally bring him up, have a third catcher. I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world at all. Wins last 7 games, batting .286. How many ABs? I know we can say last 7 games. How many at bats? Like, what's the Dan? I don't know if you know this or not, but what is the actual hits ABs? That would be what I'd be more interested in at this point. Did anyone think that Kimbrel has anything left in the tank? I mean, he was with Round Rock just last summer. I remember watching him throw in the bullpen when they were out here in Vegas playing the Aviators. So clearly another team does think he has something left in the pen. It's so hard to watch Diaz challenge right now or not challenge, Kate. I feel like there's been some ones where he should have challenged and didn't. Like in the Jordan Montgomery outing, like very early on, Monty was kind of getting hit hard, and Diaz was letting some challenges go by that he probably shouldn't have. And I've got to think being wrong on past challenges probably was a reason why he was a little bit hesitant to do it. Not great. Not great at all. Cowboy fan, what's good? Look, I love seeing Monty out there on the mound. Just feels right. But, yeah, first game jitters maybe. First game cobwebs getting dusted off. Whatever you want to call it. Not Montgomery's sharpest outing, but you would assume it's only going to get better and better. 3 for last 7 games, 3 for his last 12. So he's doing something, but, I mean, Dan, I think we can agree, man. That's nothing to keep him forever in the Rangers active 26, man. Like 3 for 12, yeah, that's great. I mean, that's nothing that I'm going to use as a baseline for keeping Austin Wynns on the roster. I think, Jesse, the only reason Walcott isn't up is because he's not able to play the field right now. All Walcott can do is DH. I mean, look, if you're actually going to DH him, I think that's one thing. But it feels like the club's pretty set on using Jock Peterson and using Justin Foscue. I know they've been doing things a little bit differently with Foscue of late. They've been playing him a lot more at second base with Nicky Lopez coming back down to earth a little bit. But for me, I think if Walcott was fully healthy and able to play the field, you probably would see him. Did anyone think that Edwin Diaz would be worse than Chris Martin this year? That is wild. Man, that is wild. Yeah, Edwin Diaz is having a rough time for the Dodgers. By the way, D-backs are beating the Dodgers again. That could be a series win, right, for the Diamondbacks. Let's see. I know that they won on Friday night. Didn't watch the rest of the game last night, but yeah, they could win a series here. That is crazy. Snakes alive, baby. They're winning 4-2 right now in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hello. Diamondbacks, we were going back and forth. I don't think Lord Tubbington's hanging out today, but we were going back and forth. Like, I think the Diamondbacks are a pretty solid team. I don't think they're the best team in the major leagues, but I think they're pretty solid. And again, I was talking to you guys, their GM was trying to give away the farm to get some big-time prospects. I don't know if that means Scooble. I don't know what that meant exactly, who they were going after, but yeah, Diamondbacks right now are 6 games over 500, and they're about to go 7 if they can hold on. You've got in the standings, Diamondbacks in second place. Dodgers at this point have let's see how big the lead is. Dodgers have a fairly sizable lead, 8.5 in the division, but the Diamondbacks are in a playoff spot right now. Eduardo Rodriguez, 7 innings. Yeah, he's been real good this year. Real good. All right, let's go ahead and let's preview the matchup for tomorrow. Late night baseball. By the way, Jeff Wilson reporting Danny Jansen is beginning a rehab assignment Tuesday night at Frisco. So if you want to go see Danny Jansen, get some autographs, head on over to Frisco, baby. Danny Jansen starting a rehab assignment on Tuesday night in Frisco for the Rough Riders. And there it is. Sent down, Jesse, mainly because you didn't have a lot of lanes for Osuna to play. The club is pretty intent on the current outfield, Carter, center field, Langford left, Nimmo and right. And Osuna just, I don't think, was getting enough opportunities. Also with Josh Young being out longer than needed, I think that you have a situation where the Rangers want another right-handed bat, another right-handed infielder. All right, so Monday night, we have Gore versus Detmers. Mackenzie Gore looking for, I think, a little bit of get back. He got blown up by the Angels in Arlington last time he faced them. That was the 13-1 game. That was the 13-1 game that Mackenzie Gore started. It did not go well. Pretty embarrassing loss. One of the more embarrassing losses of the summer. Detmers, he has had some success against Texas this year, but Rangers were able to get to him last time out. Detmers against the Rangers in his most recent start. We'll go to the game log and we'll give you the line. He pitched against us on July 9th, so roughly about a month ago, and he went 4 innings, 5 earned runs, gave up 3 homers. So you're hoping that the Rangers can carry those positive vibes into this start against Reed Detmers. Now, as we go probable pitchers against probable starters for the lineups, you've got Mackenzie Gore against the Angels, Frazier 1 for 2 with the homer, second baseman, Grissom 4 for 9, Guzman 1 for 3, Heineman the catcher 3 for 6, Lowe, Nathaniel's brother 0 for 2, Neto 2 for 7 against Mackenzie Gore, Peraza 0 for 6, Shanuel 0 for 2, Siri 1 for 5, Mike Trout 1 for 7 against Gore, Travis d'Arnaud, Ranger Killer 1 for 7. So you got a couple of guys that you got to look out for, but by and large, I mean, I think Mackenzie Gore has had some success against this lineup. You take out the Joe Adell equation, and it gets a lot better. Joe Adell had multiple home runs against Mackenzie Gore in that outing. Again, Rangers lost 13-1. So, yeah, the only bummer part, I'm with you on this, like no Jock, no Carter. I think Jock is a bigger loss right now if we're just being real, not trying to be a troll on EC. But, yeah, Evan Carter 1 for his last 22. Jock is the big loss. Anytime you face a lefty, Jock going down, that's a big loss. And I don't know that the Rangers have an awesome, right-handed DH option. Foskew's been okay, but he has kind of cooled off. I think he's, at 6 hits in the last month. To me, I feel like he has got to start catching fire, or he is probably going to be a bit replaceable, especially when Josh Young comes back. I really think that is an interesting play. If you can get Josh Young DH in some games, Foscue a little bit expendable, and then you have some opportunities elsewhere. The other side, by the way, Texas versus Detmers. Yeah, Bride 0 for 1 against Reed. Jake Berger, look, this is where he thrives, right? Jake Berger against lefties, 800-plus OPS this year. Jake Berger 2 for 7 with a homer against Reed Detmers, probable starter for the Angels. Cam Cauley 1 for 2. Ezequiel Duran 2 for 20 with a homer. Yikes. Home run's nice, but Ezequiel Duran 2 for 20 with a home run against Reed Detmers. Justin Foscue 1 for 5 with a homer. Wyatt Langford 1 for 8 with a homer. Brandon Nimmo 2 for 5 with a homer. Corey Seager, 5 for 20 with a homer. So we've got some guys that have taken Reed Detmers deep. That's nice to see. Austin Wins 0 for 1. Jock Peterson, Nicky Lopez, Elias Diaz, Evan Carter have never faced Reed Detmers. But we've got some guys that have taken this guy yard. That is encouraging. Tomorrow, by the way, first pitch, not until 8:38 Texas time. Whew. Like I said, get the coffee brewing. We'll be going late night, but it's going to be 4 late night games in a row. And I believe Wednesday, Thursday are even later. I think Wednesday, Thursday are like 9:05 start times for all you guys that live in Texas. So look, we'll be live on those days, 11:05 or whenever, 11:15 at night. Yeah, exactly. Grab the caffeine, baby. We'll be here hanging. Hope you guys will come and join us. Cubs pitching is an experience. I think it was Boyd who went on the IL playing with his kids. Yikes. My goodness. Yeah, they have had some crazy stuff happen this year. 100%. Absolutely. All right, we keep going. Let me check comments one more time. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Arizona, they definitely, man, they have found a way to stay competitive. That is for sure. Over the years, they have found a way to stay competitive. Today, just to put a bow on the game before we sign off, Rangers lose 10-5. Brandon Nimmo with a big home run in the third inning that brought the game within 2. Montgomery and company out in the pen could not keep the game at the 5-run spot, and the Orioles were able to score 5 more 15 hits today for the O's. Rangers had 8 hits. Offense looked a little better today, but in a blowout game like this, it's really hard to take it seriously. Nimmo probably player of the game offensively, pitching wise, and I don't know if you can give it to anybody. Cole Winn, every pitcher in this ball game gave up runs. I guess the positive is, as we were talking about earlier, you didn't have to completely burn the pen today. That's nice, but yeah, the pitching was not great today. Needless to say. Hey, enjoy, brother. Enjoy. I'm glad that you have a few games that are starting a little bit earlier. Most of the games, shoot, that means most of the games, I mean, you're what, during the daytime, huh? That's crazy. Yeah, if it's a 5:30 start time, that means it's like a morning start, right? So is it a lot of morning starts in Hawaii? That's wild. And then in the day games, you have like early morning starts. Whew. I don't know if I would rather have that or not. I think I prefer what I've got going on. Like, I like the West Coast timing. You have games starting mostly like at 5 o'clock. And then you have, 7 o'clock, 7:30 show for me. Like, living in Arlington, if I was still living in Arlington doing these shows, I guess it wouldn't be that bad, right? It would be like, a 9 o'clock showtime start. That's really not a big deal. What is Skip doing? Lineup looks rough. No one is scared of us, man. Yeah, TK, I did not love the lineup that got put out today. But you know what? When they're throwing a lefty, it's just tough. Like, they're going to bench Jock immediately. Rangers have shown that it doesn't matter who the lefty is. They're going to bench Jock. I don't know if that's going to change, but with Josh Young out, the lineup does just look a lot uglier sometimes. Absolutely. I'm with you on that one. Hey, Lights, Camera, Action. Appreciate it, man. Love this hat. One of my favorites. We wrote it out during the winning streak. I'll have to mix it up tomorrow, but this is my favorite hat by far. By far. Let's see. Hey, I'm the same way, brother. When the team loses, I need a little bit. Process it all. This helps a lot. But yeah, I take these losses hard. I don't like losing these games, especially to the Orioles. They felt so vulnerable for a sweep today. Look, you'll take 2 out of 3. You just hope Texas can keep stacking wins, man. Please keep stacking them. Hitters should be able to hit lefty or righty. Makes no sense. Not baseball. I don't like the platoon stuff either. But I do feel like if you do start hitting Jock against lefties, wouldn't you worry a little bit that the mental starts getting affected against righties? I just am a little concerned. They make that move. They may be in a spot where Jock starts going the other way against right-handers because he's having the struggles against lefties. That to me is my biggest concern with having Jock play every single day. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We'll see what they decide to do. It is a painful lineup at times. No Josh Young, no Jock Peterson. It looks a little painful. I'm not going to lie. I mean, look, forever winning, I could be totally off base. Maybe it won't. But I've got to think that's probably in the Rangers' minds. Like, hey, let's not mess with this. The dude's raking. Let's just keep on benching him against lefties. But as a fan, your player that's getting paid $18.5 million, you'd probably like to see a guy like that in the lineup every day. Rev Snyder was not hitting very well, though, was he? I mean, there's a reason he got DFA'd, huh? But, I mean, maybe they will decide to take a flyer on one of these guys. So, Ref Snyder, we'll see what happens. Langford is definitely on a little bit of a slide. We talked about that last night. It does feel like it has coincided a little bit with the getting hit, as Cade was saying, fouling the ball off of his foot multiple times or off of his leg. You hope that Wyatt can turn it around. He did have a hit today. That's encouraging. Did he walk today as well? No, he didn't. Just 1 for 3. Let's see. The hit by the pitch was the other day, I believe, right? So Wyatt on the season, 261, 797 OPS. If we're being real, you're hoping for better than that from him, but he has been a lot better than what he was to begin the year. But Wyatt, just a little truth serum here, hitting .095 over his last 7 games. Wyatt Langford, 2 for his last 21, batting .182 over his last 15, 10 for 55. Maybe I need to do like a Wyatt Langford like negative post so he can go on another tear and I can just get, retweeted left and right with people dunking on me. Maybe I need to do that. Might be an afternoon activity, might be an afternoon project. I'll post Wyatt Langford's last 7, last 15, and then, when he hits a home run or 2 tomorrow, you can thank me. I think that might be the afternoon plan. We'll see, man. There's a few guys that are in this boat. Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter, a lot of guys that are in this like sub 100 batting average boat over their last 7 games. Ugly. You need guys like this to get going. You really do. Hey, look, tough game today. Always glad that you guys choose to still come and hang out. Not an easy game to talk about, but the Rangers do win a series. I think that's important to say out loud. They won a series. They've won back-to-back series. Today, you would have loved to have gotten the sweep. Kumar Rocker just did not have it today. Wasn't hitting his locations. Was getting rocked when he was getting the ball over the plate. And it was not his moment, that's for sure. You're hoping that he can rebound when they go to Sacramento. Friday night, I believe, is when he'll be starting again. You hope that he can bring it and he can have a nice rebound performance. Mackenzie Gore pitches tomorrow against Reed Detmers. Battle of the Southpaws. Detmers got beat up a little bit in his turn against Rangers last time. Gore got beat up against the Angels in his turn the last time. Something's got to give. We'll hope that it's Reed Detmers giving up some more bombs to this Rangers lineup, just like he did last time out. Rangers had 3 home runs off of him. I'm with you on this one, forever winning. I'm nervous about the Angels series in a way, just because, first of all, 4-game set. Second of all, we always have some kind of meltdown game against the Angels, it feels like. And we might win a series, but I have to say I'm a little bit nervous about the Angels series. I'm not going into this series with the most confidence in the world. I don't think they're going to lose the series. I think at worst they're going to split it. I really do hope they win 3 out of 4. And honestly, that should be the bar. We talked about this a few days ago before the series started with the Orioles on the Thursday off day. You've got to stack wins, man. Like 12-4 is really what you want to go in this 16-game stretch. You're playing the Giants. You're playing the Orioles, who are obviously under 500. You're playing the Angels. You're playing the A's. You're playing the Nationals. You've got to start stacking wins. So let's see what they can do in Anaheim. 3 out of 4 really should be the baseline. And a sweep would be the most preferable outcome. But 3 out of 4, I think, is where we have to set the bar for this one. A split just doesn't feel right against one of the worst teams in baseball, on the road or not. Rangers have to figure out a way to get 3 out of 4 in this series. I'm going to put a little pressure on them. And look, am I going to sit here and say the sky is falling? They're not going to make the playoffs if they split it? No, I think we'll all be quite negative, though, if they lose this series. That would be, I don't want to say catastrophic, but it would be very, very bad. All right. Can't wait to watch the Rangers play the A's in Sacramento on Friday. Channel 33 locally in Texas. That's awesome. That is awesome. A sweep would be awesome in either series on this trip. Totally agreed, Nate. 100%. Hey, appreciate all you guys hanging out. We're going to sign off for the day. Appreciate the support, the comments, the likes, the shares. We had some people follow during the show today. Subscribe on YouTube. Means the world. We don't take any of that stuff for granted. I am excited for some West Coast baseball. Hope you guys will join me late night. I'll try and go live in the 8th inning of every game, and then we'll see what kind of crowd we get. It might be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. Man, we do this for the love of the game, right? So we'll be here regardless. Hope you'll join us. We'll have a bunch of videos and content out to you over the next 24 hours. I'm going to drop a video later tonight. Hope you'll watch that. Hope you'll like it. Give it a comment. Maybe send it somebody's way, someone you know who's a diehard Rangers fan that doesn't necessarily follow the account. And then we'll have another video out to you guys tomorrow, probably sometime in the afternoon, maybe early evening, since it's a late game. Give people a chance to get home, get settled, and then we will have the post-game show and the live show during the 8th or 9th inning as well. That's the plan. We're sticking to it. Hopefully talking about another Rangers win. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday night. Dan, DeGrom Day, I would imagine, is probably not going to be until Wednesday or Thursday, right? I would probably imagine Wednesday or Thursday he'll be starting. I don't know if they have the different games set up yet, the pitching matchups. I'll look really quick and I'll see. But I think Wednesday or Thursday. Tuesday night is Rangers to be determined. Wednesday is to be determined. Thursday is also to be determined. There you go. All right, y'all. As I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.